Bulls Nation, as we continue to talk about potential power forwards or big men in general joining the Chicago Bulls. Of course, with the LaMarcus Aldridge joining the Brooklyn Nets, that's obviously someone we don't talk about now. But today I want to talk about someone that we've already seen on a Chicago Bulls team before, and that is someone that was on the Chicago Bulls Summer League team. If you don't know who I'm talking about, his name is Troy Baxter Jr., and let's talk all about him and his potential on this team in this video. Let's do it. What's going on, everybody? It's the Aidan Sports Show, and welcome back to another video. Today we've got a Chicago Bulls related video referring to a potential signing for the Chicago Bulls at the power forward position. We've talked about numerous positions before. We've talked a lot about this power forward position before as a backup, and today we're going to be talking about, once again, a player that could potentially play in that position and whether or not we should go after Troy Baxter Jr., who most of us have seen in the Summer League already. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about Troy Baxter Jr. and what he could be if he was to join this Chicago Bulls team. Now, I don't have too many stats to show you in relation to Troy Baxter. He did play in this Summer League and he did perform fairly okay in this Summer League for the Chicago Bulls. But the game to stand out was definitely the last game of our Summer League experience against the Charlotte Hornets, because this guy absolutely went crazy in that game with athletic highlight plays, athletic blocks, athletic dunks, and what you truly saw was a player that is very, very athletic, one of the most athletic players you'd probably see in the NBA, show his athleticism off in that Summer League game. And many people from then on have been very persistent that the Chicago Bulls should give this guy a chance. Today I'm going to be talking about whether or not I believe Troy Baxter Jr. should be given a chance. First things first, I think he could definitely play that power forward position. He is a known small forward, power forward. He's 6'9". I believe he weighs 200 pounds. He's 25 years old. And he's definitely someone that could definitely fit right into the system of what the Chicago Bulls want to do. Very similar to Vanderbilt. I don't remember Troy Baxter making too many jump shots. I don't see him taking too many jump shots. A lot of his damage comes in the paint, and a lot of his defense is due to his athleticism. Those are things that we need to take into consideration, and those are things that I feel the Chicago Bulls should definitely keep in mind when they're bringing in Troy Baxter. His athleticism is undeniable. We all know that. If you've watched him, you've seen it. We've all seen his athleticism is very, very good. And that's something we could definitely use. Once again, he's someone that we could use out in that transition. If we're looking to focus on rebounds and running out in transition, Troy Baxter could probably do both of those things. He's going to be very good at getting rebounds, and when he's not getting the rebound, the guy's going to be bolting down the court because he has the ability to do both. Those are two things that I feel will be perfect on this bench for the Chicago Bulls, as our bench is very run and transition oriented. The more players that can run out in transition, the easier it is to get easier layups, easier buckets, and of course, it's just figuring out where players are meant to be when they're in transition. I think Troy Baxter could definitely do that. The negative side to Troy Baxter is I don't know if he'll get much better than what he is already. At the end of the day, he had a very good Summer League and he deserves an opportunity, not even if it's on the Chicago Bulls, but just any team in general. I feel he does deserve an opportunity, but I'm not sure at the age of 25, he's going to get leaps and leaps better than what he already is. Again, it all comes down to opportunity, and whichever team gives him the opportunity, if he takes that opportunity, he will take leaps in his career, but I'm not sure if it's the leaps that we would want to expect over players that we are already looking at, like Vanderbilt. And I'm comparing these two because I do find them very similar, but I really do feel like Vanderbilt, who was a player that's played for the Minnesota Timberwolves last year and did have meaningful minutes, I feel would potentially be better in that position than what Troy Baxter Jr. can offer. But something that's very interesting, Troy Baxter, I don't believe, plays for a team at the moment. Vanderbilt is a restricted free agent for the Minnesota Timberwolves, and we don't know the situation of whether he's going to stay there or whether the Timberwolves are looking to seek him and push him elsewhere in a sign and trade, or maybe if we offer a contract, the Timberwolves will just let him go. We don't know that situation. So Vanderbilt is as good as an option as he is, and I feel like many people will see him as the main option at the moment for the Chicago Bulls because of his potential, because of his ability to rebound, his ability to run out in transition, and his dribbling, and all of these things you could talk about Vanderbilt with. if he doesn't sign for the Chicago Bulls and he stays with the Minnesota Timberwolves, we once again need to look elsewhere. And Troy Baxter is someone that we could definitely look at because he's already been on this team. The scouting and the coaching know what he's all about. They've watched him, they analyzed him, and obviously they gave him a chance in the Summer League because they believe that this could be something about this player. And we gave him that chance. And in the last game, I definitely think he took that chance. So this goes to show that there is a lot of, I guess, faith from the organization. If you want to put it in Troy Baxter, I feel like they would definitely not feel hesitant to do so if other options are not going to be available to them. The question is, would you take Troy Baxter Jr. on the Chicago Bulls? And do you think he'd be good enough to play that power forward position? Well, luckily enough, we have a two-way contract available for the Chicago Bulls, and I feel this guy definitely deserves the chance to play and prove himself on this team as a G League player, as a player on the Chicago Bulls team. That two-way contract, in my opinion, suits Troy Baxter perfectly. So even if we go after Vanderbilt per se, Troy Baxter is definitely someone you could put on a two-way contract because we still have one available, and it'd be stupid not to use it. And we could probably bring in Troy Baxter on a two-way contract. I think that's a very ideal situation for him to be in at the moment. Again, it's a difficult scenario because I don't think he's gotten many chances, if any chances, at a higher level than what we saw already from him. And this is the thing with Troy Baxter. He has some potential in him. He has the athleticism to play in this league. And again, a lot of this league is athleticism. If you don't have a jump shot, if you don't have the ability to, I guess, shoot the ball, sometimes the athleticism can save you in many ways, and we don't necessarily need an out-and-out shooter in that power forward position. We need someone that's going to defend, we need someone that's going to get rebounds, and we need to add a little bit of height into this team, which Troy Baxter does. So I would take him in this team, but I would put him on that two-way contract because that two-way contract gives us the ability to improve him in the G League if we don't necessarily have a place for him in the starting lineup or a place for him off of the bench at the moment. Let's say we get Vanderbilt and we get Troy Baxter. There's not a lot of game time for Troy Baxter on that team if we have Patrick Williams, Marco, Vanderbilt on the team. And I also feel like Marco would be pretty much ahead of him in the schedule, in the roster already at the power forward position. Maybe, maybe not. It depends if he can even play power forward. That's something we just don't know yet. So with Troy Baxter, I would say put him on a two-way contract. If there's minutes for him to be on this team, then we give him those minutes because I feel like he can take advantage of those minutes, and being a player that is athletic, could definitely play in the system that we want to play. But when he doesn't have the minutes, or when there's not enough minutes to rotate him into the squad, you put him in that G League and you let him develop from there. The fact of the matter is, I think without question, he deserves an opportunity. And I hope if it's not the Chicago Bulls, there are other teams out there that give this guy an opportunity because he's shown that he could definitely be a highlight player that could take those opportunities. However, there's obviously a reason at 25 years old, he's not been given that opportunity. So if the Chicago Bulls give him that opportunity, the two-way contract is a perfect place for him. A place where he's going to earn minutes off of this bench and potentially earn his way into the G League and make a name for himself in these areas and fight for his place on the roster and fight for his place in the NBA. That's the best case scenario. Just adding him on a regular contract, in my opinion, could potentially waste him because he might not get the game time that he needs. And that's something that's very important. You don't want to waste players on this team. If you sign someone, you need to play them. And maybe he doesn't get the playing time over somebody else. So the two-way contract has to be a thing. This is exactly why Devon Dotson is on a two-way contract. Look at all the guards that we have. I can name them all. Lonzo Ball. You have off of the bench. You have Kobe White. You have Ayo Dosunmu. You have Alex Caruso. If you want to play him, Devon Dotson at the two guard, you can't because he's a little bit too short to play in that position. He's an out-and-out point guard, and we have a lot of point guards on this team already. So Devon Dotson is on that two-way contract because we still have faith that he can be something in this league, and we need to give him game time to do so. So you send him down to the G League. He has another great G League, and then we start to have that conversation of whether or not Devon Dotson should be on the team or not. These are conversations we need to have. And if he has a poor G League, then I guess we can see that maybe he's not ready for that chance. And Troy Baxter deserves the exact same opportunity, in my opinion, and he's definitely someone we should be looking at. Another player that we should be looking at is Simi Shitsu, and I will be talking about him later. But keep in mind as well, we still have preseason to discuss this situation. We may not make that decision straight away. If Vanderbilt goes to the Minnesota Timberwolves and everybody else is taken up and we only can sign free agents that just didn't get signed throughout this period, We have free agency to sign those players on and let them test their abilities against NBA-ready players in that preseason. And if they do well in that preseason, they get the opportunity to play. We will have an extended roster in preseason, and Troy Baxter, I think, should definitely be a player on this. So this is a decision we don't have to make straight away. Unless there's another team that's going to swoop him up by the time preseason happens, and I don't know if that's the case. The Chicago Bulls have a lot of time to make that decision. And if that decision needs to be made, put Troy Baxter in preseason and let's see what he could do in a full preseason with the Chicago Bulls. Let him attend training camp, let him work in our preseason roster, and let's just see what we have to do. And we'll cut the roster down, I believe, if need be. So I think that's a good decision as well. We have some time. We don't need to rush things. And I don't think the Chicago Bulls will rush things. So we'll wait and see what happens for the Chicago Bulls. And hopefully we can figure all this out sooner than later. But of course, patience is something we definitely have at this moment. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls signing Troy Baxter. Do you think he deserves a regular contract? Do you think he should be put on a two-way contract? Do you think he's the only player we should be going after? There's so many questions because Troy Baxter is an unknown player at the NBA level, in my opinion, and he doesn't necessarily have the experience in the NBA to back up us signing him on a guaranteed contract. He needs to be able to work his way into this team, and I think the G League and I think the two-way contract is the perfect way to do it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Have a wonderful and safe day, Bulls Nation. I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls video. Take care and peace.